Hey guys, Coach Jason, welcome back. So I want to go over 6 things today that are critical pieces that either yourself or your athlete should be doing to run their very best 10K. Okay, whether it be on the track, cross country, roads, doesn't matter. Okay, my last video I've done a video to maximize your performance in the 5K. That's in the description down below, as well as a bunch of 5K training programs. I'm also going to link a bunch of 10K training programs down below too. So you can take a look at 10K training program broken down, 12-week program or 16-week program. You see how everything's laid out. Okay, and then you'll see how these things are kind of incorporated within the training. So you get an idea of, okay, when to do this, when to do that. And that's obviously you figure out what's best for your athletes. But this kind of can give you an idea on how things are laid out. I have everything broken up into 4 to 6 week blocks of training for periodization purposes. So that there's an adaptation phase. And so that folks are adapting to the next stimuli of training and not doing too much of something too soon, running their best too soon, okay? And they're staying healthy so they could run their best when it counts the most. Okay, those are all important pieces of the training. But with that, okay, and again, 10K training is not that different from 5K training or even half marathon training. There are some individualized components, some longer workouts or shorter workouts and stuff, but a lot of the meat and potatoes are similar. So you'll see a lot of things that are that are kind of consistent across the board with these, particularly in my training programs. Okay, but with that, let's get through these 6. Okay, by the way, if you're a coach or an athlete and you like good running content, make sure you hit that subscribe button now. I have almost 200 videos of detailed training programs, workouts from 800 meters all the way up to the marathon at all different levels, all that stuff, and everything's fully detailed. So if you watch a video of mine, watch it from beginning to end so you don't miss important details. And then I usually have a whiteboard in a lot of my videos, so I show you how everything's laid out. The whiteboard's here too. I'm going to show you the things that I'm going to talk about now. That's so you don't have to write them down now. You'll see it shortly. So you'll see how everything's laid out. Okay. So number 1 I want to go over is hill repeats, particularly 400-meter hill repeats. Okay, this is something that I have athletes do to build up a lot of leg strength and a lot of running longer race-specific hill repeats. Now I like short hill repeats too. 100-meter, 200-meter. It's a great way of building leg speed and leg power and stuff. But 400-meter efforts are a great way to kind of simulate cross-country. There are some races, with a lot of hills. But it's also a great way of building strength towards either a rolling 10K or a flat 10K. And I like to have athletes over time build up to about 12 reps, okay, which is 3 miles going up. Now remember, the jog recovery is down. So you have 3 miles going down. So it's a 10-kilometer total workout. But that's something you build towards over time. Okay, couple things to focus on is staying upright but leaning into the hill as you do it and trying to maintain the same kind of cadence or rhythm as you do on the flats. It'll obviously be a little bit slower going on the uphill, and that's okay. But the idea is to cap it at 90 seconds. So if you don't get to the 400 in 90 seconds, then you just stop at 90 seconds, and that's okay. And you build up towards it. But if you can get to where you're doing 400-meter efforts in 90 seconds or faster, just keep going. If you're close within a couple of seconds. But once you hit 400 meters and it's under 90 seconds, that's great. Jogging down, you also want to kind of lean into the hill too. Want to remain perpendicular so that you're going down like this so that it minimizes the strength, the stress on your joints, particularly your Achilles, your knees, and your lower back. Okay? Very, very important. It's an important way of kind of keeping healthy. Okay, or minimizing the pounding. So especially if you find a place where you can do this on the grass or on dirt trails, perfect. But if you need to do it on concrete, that's okay. Uphill running is a lot less stressful than hard downhill running or just hard flat running. So that's number 1. Number 2 is a combination: long run, semi-long run. These are both important components. Okay, I've said this before too. Long runs, at some point you want to get to the point where it's about 20% of your weekly volume. So if you're running 60 miles a week, long run should be around 12 miles. If you're running 10 miles, if you're running 10 miles at 50, 12 miles at 60. If you're running 70, about 14 miles. If you're running 80, about 16 miles. And again, there are some modifications. Some people need a little bit less, a little bit more. Completely up to you to figure out whether it's you or your athletes kind of addressing the individualized component, because not everybody's going to respond the same way, recover the same way, progress the same way if you're giving everybody the same exact training. So that's where the individualized component, but 20% is a good benchmark, okay? And it's something that I do consistently, mostly every week, but I taper it back the week before a race. So if you have a race next Saturday, the Saturday before it, I cut back the long run, about 20% as well. Okay, so the long run's there. And then there's a semi-long run, which is about 75% of what the long run is. So if the long run's 12, semi-long run will be about 10. If the long run's, if you're running like, let's say you're running 75 miles a week and your long run's 15, the semi-long run's going to be about 12. So it's another opportunity to stay on your feet for an extended period of time, but it's a nice recovery, nice steady pace. Okay, semi-long run and long run, big components to the training. Number 3, speed fartlek. One in particular, whether it's 10K or half marathon, even going up to the marathon, I like the speed fartlek of 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy. There's a whole bunch of different other fartleks that I incorporate, but this one particular one I use with a lot of athletes, whether they're training for the 5K or 10K, half marathon, marathon, but specifically 10K to the marathon. 10K, building up to about 16 reps of 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy. Okay, half marathon building up to about 20 reps, marathon building up to about 24 reps. So if you're doing 16, the whole workout itself is 32 minutes. If you're doing 20, the whole workout itself is 40 minutes. So it's 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy the whole way. And that 1 minute hard is hard. Okay, and this is another workout that you could repeat, several weeks later. You can either run the harder efforts harder or the easier efforts a little bit faster to make it a little bit more challenging. So if you can get to the point where your recovery jogs are a little bit quicker, it's a more challenging workout, but it's also equally as beneficial. Speed fartlek, that's number 3. Number 4 is obviously threshold and tempo running. There's a bunch of different components. So you have your continuous tempo runs, like your anaerobic threshold, okay, which is about 20 to 30 seconds slower per mile than your 5K pace, but the max on that is 25 minutes per run, okay? 50 to, let's just say 45 to 50 seconds, or maybe at most 60 seconds slower than your 5K pace per mile is your aerobic threshold run, but that goes from 30 minutes to 60 minutes. Okay, the longer it is, the slower it gets. So 2 different types of continuous running, but both equally as important. How and when you incorporate them is that's where you figure things out as a coach, okay? But take a look at my training videos. You'll kind of get an idea where things are. On the other end, you've got your threshold reps or your cruise intervals, anywhere from 1,000-meter reps to 1,200s to 2-mile reps to 2-kilometer reps, building towards 8 kilometers to 10 kilometers worth of total volume. And keep in mind, too, 10 times 1,000 with a 1-minute recovery at threshold pace does not require the same recovery period as 10 times 1,000 at 10K goal race pace with a 2 or 3 minute recovery. 2 different workouts, okay? But threshold training is a very important part of training. It's a non-invasive way too to get a lot of volume in, and come back a few days later for another workout. Another equally important component to training. And you'll see a bunch of workouts on the whiteboard shortly. And number 5, 3K pace and 5K pace workouts. So, you have things slower than 10K pace, and you're going to have stuff at faster than 10K pace. Okay, the fartlek's generally about 3K down to mile pace. And then you have workouts at 3K pace, 5K pace. Having a multi-pace training system is you're setting yourself up for long-term success. You're setting your athletes up for long-term success. Even if you're training for a 5K, the threshold stuff is at like 10K pace or a little slower. Then you have stuff at 3K pace, mile pace, 800 pace. So you're addressing the aerobic and your threshold component, and you're addressing the speed development component. Makes you more well-rounded, makes your athletes more well-rounded, gets you used to races where they kind of become sprints in the last quarter of the race, or the last K of the race. So these are important workouts as well. And last but not least is doing specific 10K pace workouts. Very, very important. But for periodization purposes, these are the types of workouts I generally will have folks do on the last block of the season, so that they're hitting their goal race while they're on the upswing. Last thing I learned this the hard way, unfortunately, in my early years as a coach, is you do too much of a good thing or too much of something too soon, and then they wind up running their best races too soon, particularly when they're running a lot of races. 5Ks and 10Ks right now, especially post-college, there's generally you don't run as many races, but when you're competing in high school, college, and particularly high school, people just race a lot more. So, and that's where the science really becomes of, okay, how many workouts should I be doing? Should I be doing a little bit less? Where should I be doing them? Because the last thing when you have qualifiers, then modifying the training is important. So, but with that said, doing stuff at 10K specific pace is important. Now let's go over to the whiteboard. I want to show you here. Okay, I've got a whole bunch of stuff. Let's get that glare out of there. Let's move it up here. Boom. All right. On the top, you see workouts do specific elevate your endurance and speed to run your very best 10K. Okay, but we don't really need to see that right now, so let's go through this. Okay, 400-meter hill repeats. Number one, let's get that glare out of there. There we go. No longer than 90 seconds, as I was saying. Okay, jog back down as your recovery. Make sure you're recovering gradually. And it's a continuous workout. As soon as you get to the bottom, you come around, go back up. You can take a few seconds to regroup. That's fine, but you want to minimize the amount of time you stay at the bottom. Building towards 12 reps maximum. Okay. Secondly, long run and semi-long run. Okay, long runs weekly, on the weekend generally, or depending on if you need to do them on a different day, then you just modify the training accordingly. 20% of the weekly volume, and the semi-long run is midweek. It's about 75% of the distance of the long run. Okay. Number 3, speed fartlek. 16 to 20 by 1 minute hard. Closer to 16, you may have some athletes who can tolerate 20, that's fine. But if you're doing 20, you're essentially progressing from 5K pace down to mile pace. If you're doing 16, you're progressing from 3K pace down to mile pace. Okay? 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy. It's continuous. You can do it on a rolling area, particularly like grass or dirt. That's really, really good. Number 4, threshold and tempo. Your 4-mile anaerobic threshold run, or 25 minutes max. 6 to 8 mile aerobic threshold, okay, which is slower than your anaerobic threshold by 20-30 seconds per mile. Now some threshold workouts: 8 to 10 times 1,000 with a 1 minute recovery. 7 to 8 like 1,200 meters with a 75-second recovery. Okay, 5 to 6 times a mile with a 1:30 recovery, all at threshold pace, and 4 to 5 times a 2K. Or 1.25 miles with a 1 minute 30-second recovery. These are all at the same pace. I would not increase in training paces until a race indicates you're ready to start doing faster workouts. Okay, let the races catch up to your training. Last thing you want to do is get ahead of yourself. Okay, because if you're doing too much too soon, also you're also putting yourself at risk getting injured or sick, or potentially both. We want to avoid that. Okay, 3K to 5K workouts. Let's point this down a little bit here. You have your 3K specific, 6 to 7 by 600 meters with a 200-meter jog recovery at about 3K pace. 4 to 5 times an 800 meters, 2-minute recovery, 3K pace. 3 to 4 times 1,000 with a 230 recovery at 3K pace. And then 3 to 4 times 1,200 with a 3-minute recovery at 3K pace. And again, you can build towards these over time. But if you get to the point where you're doing that much volume, about 4 kilometers or 3 miles worth of stuff at 3K pace, you're going to be in good shape. Now let's move over to 5K pace. 9 to 10 by 600, so we've added some 600s, the same 200-meter jog recovery, but now you're doing them at 5K pace. Okay, 6 to 7 by 800 meters, which is about 5,600 meters worth of running, with a 90-second recovery at 5K pace. 5 to 6 times 1,000, good staple 1,000-meter reps with a 2-minute recovery at 5K pace. And for your fitter, more advanced athletes, 4 to 5 by 1,200 meters, so we've added a rep or two, with a 2-minute recovery at 5K pace. So 3-minute recovery at 3K pace, 2-minute recovery at 5K pace. And last but not least, you have your 10K specific workouts. 8 to 10 times 1,000, okay, with a 1:30 to 2-minute recovery, depending on the needs of your athletes. 7 to 8 by 1,200 meters, with a 2 to 2:30 recovery. Okay, 5 to 6 times a mile with a 2:30 to 3-minute recovery. Again, depends on your athletes. And for your older, more fitter, and more experienced athletes, 4 to 5 times a 2 kilometers, which is a total of 8K to 10K of running, with a 2:30 to 3-minute recovery, same as the mile reps at 10K pace. And again, you could progress from current to goal. You could do this workout repeatedly. You could do the first workout at your current pace, your second workout like 4 weeks later for progression from current to goal, and then 4 weeks after that, you could try to do the workout at goal pace. But again, let other races and time trials indicate whether you're ready to increase training paces. Very, very important. So, those are the workouts for 10K. Let me know what you think. Okay, if you found this helpful, hit the thumbs up. And if there's any other workouts that I haven't put on or videos that I haven't put out yet, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to get them squared away for you, and I'll be happy to put out a video for you. So I hope you found it helpful. Have a great week. Stay healthy. Talk to you next time.